Hello students, I am Sir Glenn, your subject teacher. Welcome to General Mathematics Grade 11. Our next lesson is all about finding the domain and range of rational functions. Ano nga ulit yung ibig sabihin ni domain at ni range? Let's recall the definition. The domain of a function f of x is a set of all values that the variable x can take. Yun yung pinagsama-samang allowable values ni variable x. Okay? The range naman, the range of a function f of x is a set of all values that the f of x can take. Yun yung set of all outcomes. Pinagsama-samang possible outcomes, range. Finding the domain of a rational function. A rational function, which is a ratio of two polynomial functions, in many cases is not a polynomial function. So bear this in mind, hindi polynomial function si rational function. Okay? Unlike a polynomial function which is defined for every real number, a rational function is defined only when its denominator is not equal to 0. So, defined ang isang rational function as long as yung denominator niya ay hindi equal kay 0. This implies that the domain of a rational function is the set of all real numbers except those that make the denominator 0. To find these x values to be excluded from the domain of a rational function, equate the denominator to 0 and solve for x. Okay, that is the step, the process in obtaining the domain of a rational function. For the example number 1, find the domain of the following functions. For the solution, watch this video. In this example, we find the domain of the following functions. So the first one, we have f of x is equal to 1 all over x. So, paano natin madedetermine yung hindi isasama sa domain natin? So, coming from the denominator. Okay, so yung denominator natin, ilalabas natin, then we equate that to 0. So, ibig sabihin, ito ngayon yung hindi natin isasama, yung hindi natin ilalagay, hindi natin i-include sa allowable values ni x. So, therefore, our domain will be, the domain D is the set of all x's such that x is an element of real numbers and x is not equal to 0. Okay? The second one, we have x minus 4. Equate natin yan kay 0. Then x, transposing negative 4, it will give us positive 4. Ito ngayon yung hindi natin isasama. So, therefore, our domain for letter B is set of all x's such that x is an element of real numbers, comma, x is not equal to 4. Then, lastly, this will be x minus 2 is not equal to 0. So, transposing negative 2, it will give us positive 2. Ito ngayon yung hindi natin isasama sa domain. We have the domain is a set of all x's such that x is an element of real numbers, comma, x is not equal to 2. Understood? How about the range? So, finding the range of a rational function. The range of a function is the set of all values that f of x can take. So there are two ways in finding the range of a rational function. The first one is through its graph. But this method will not be used in this lesson since hindi siya kasama sa most essential learning competency, yung paggagraph. Okay? The second is to solve the equation for x in terms of y. Then, solve for the values of y that makes the denominator 0. Then exclude that in the range. So using the second method, if by solving the equation for x in terms of y yielded a quadratic equation, we rewrite it in its general form and solve for the discriminant. The formula for the discriminant is d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Then, solve for the resulting inequality for d, which is greater than or equal to 0. So, bakit siya greater than or equal to 0? Kasi pag nag-negative yan, wala siyang roots. Imaginary yung kanyang roots. Understood? If the resulting inequality is a quadratic equation and is not factorable, use the quadratic formula. If the discriminant obtained is negative, the range is the set of all real numbers. Okay? Example number 2. Find the range of the function f of x is equal to x plus 7 all over x minus 5. For the solution, watch this video. In this example, we find the range of f of x is equal to x plus 7 all over x minus 5. So we will be using the second method. We try to solve for x in terms of y. So how are we going to do that? First, we replace f of x using y. It will be y is equal to x plus 7 all over x minus 5. And then, understood na may 1 dyan, we cross multiply. Kasi our aim here, ang may iwan dapat sa ating left side ay si x. Okay, so doing so, it will give us y times this one, x minus 5, is equal to x plus 7. So distributing y to all the terms here, it will give us xy minus 5y is equal to x plus 7. Transposing positive x to the left, we have xy. From positive x, it will be negative x. And then transposing negative 5y to the right, it will give us 5y. Then we bring down positive 7. Factoring out this, ilalabas natin si x. We have, ang may iwan dito ay si y. Ang may iwan dito ay si 1. Is equal to 5y plus 7. Para maalis si y minus 1, we divide both sides by y minus 1. So therefore, x is equal to 5y plus 7 all over y minus 1. So, since nasulat na natin siya, na-rewrite na natin yung given in terms of y, ito ngayon yung i-consider natin. Okay, so we try to consider the denominator. We have y minus 1, and then hindi dapat siya mag-equal kay 0. So, transposing negative 1, it will be positive 1. Ito ngayon yung idadagdag natin sa ating statement doon sa set notation natin. So, therefore, the range is the set of all y's such that y is an element of real numbers, comma, y is not equal to 1. This is our answer. Understood? For the third example, find the range of the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 1 all over x minus 2. For the solution, watch this video. In this example, we find the range of the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 1 all over x minus 2. So, how are we going to do that? We solve for x in terms of y. So, we replace f of x using y. It will give us y is equal to squared minus 1 all over x minus 2. Understood na may 1 yan. We cross multiply. So, we have y times x minus 2 is equal to x squared minus 1. So, since equal silang dalawa, pwede natin silang pagpalitan ng positions. Okay? Hindi transposition ang tawag doon. We just swap their positions kasi this symbol indicates that these two are equal. So, parang pagpapalitan lang natin sila ng positions. It will give us squared minus 1 is equal to, this will be y times x minus 2. So, bring down x squared minus 1, then transpose y to all the terms inside the parentheses. So, we have yx minus 2y. So, ito na yung sinabi kanina na what if nagkaroon ng term na may squared. Okay? So, how are we going to do that? We try to transpose all the terms sa ating left side. Ang maiwan sa right side ay si 0. So, doing so, we have transposing positive yx, it will give us negative yx or xy. Commutative naman yan. And then transposing negative 2y, it will give us positive 2y. Then we bring down negative 1 is equal to 0. So, this is the quadratic form. So, naka-write na siya in terms of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the general form of a quadratic equation. So, anong kailangan natin gawin dito? We try to identify the values of a, b, and c. Okay, so yung a dito, as you can see, yan yung coefficient ni x squared. So, ang value ni a ay 1. As you can see, yung coefficient nito ay 1 lang. How about b? Yung b naman ay yung coefficient ni x. Ano yung coefficient ni x dito? Negative y. So, b is negative y. And then, the value of c here is yung constant terms or yung mga terms na walang x. So, since walang x si 2y minus 1, kukonsider natin silang dalawa, 2y minus 1. After obtaining the values of a, b, and c, we solve for the discriminant. We have d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So, this will be b squared is negative y squared minus 4 times a is 1 and c is 2y minus 1. So, doing so, negative y squared is y squared. And then, negative 4 times 2y is negative 8y. Then, negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. So, this is our discriminant. So, take note na ang makukuha dapat nating value dito ay always greater than or equal to 0 kasi we are looking for real roots. Kapag less than kasi yan, less than 0 yung hanapin natin, we are looking for the imaginary root, which is incorrect. Okay, so how are we going to find the roots here? So, is this factorable? Kung hindi siya factorable, we make use of the quadratic formula. What's the quadratic formula again? We have x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, solving for the value, this should be y, since we are looking for the range. Sorry. So, this will be y is equal to, what is the value of a here? A is 1, b is negative 8, and c is positive 4. Y will be negative b is negative 8, positive negative square root of b squared minus 4, a is 1, and c is 4 all over 2a, 2 times 1. So, negative times negative is positive 8, positive negative square root of, this will be 64 minus 16 all over 2. So, we have 8, positive negative square root of, what is 64 minus 16? This is 48 all over 2, or it can still be simplified as 8 positive negative. What are the factors of 48? 16 and 3. So this will be 16 times 3 all over 2, or that is positive and negative. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 3 all over 2. Y will be 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then positive, negative. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Square root of 3. So, ang values ni Y natin, we have Y is equal to 4 plus 2 square root of 3. And Y is equal to 4 minus 2 square root of 3. The next method, since we are dealing with y squared minus 8y plus 4, how do we solve quadratic inequality. Same lang dun sa method na ginamit natin. I-pair kay negative infinity yung pinakamaliit. The smallest here is obviously 4 minus 2 square root of 3, since meron siyang or equal to, and then we are dealing with quadratic inequality. Yan, square bracket. Second one is 4 minus 2 square root of 3 and 4 plus 2 square root of 3. Then lastly, 4 plus 2 square root of 3 and positive infinity. Next one, we try to obtain 1 values each. So 4 minus 2 square root of 3 is equivalent to 0.53. So, ibig sabihin, you can write there 0. 4 plus 2 square root of 3 is 7.46. So, we can use 1 here. And then, here, we can use 8. If x is 0, substituting 0 here, I mean, if y is 0, we have 0 squared minus 8 times 0 plus 4, that is 4 greater than or equal to 0? Yes. If y is 1, we have 1 squared minus 8 times 1 plus 4. That is 1 minus 8 plus 4. 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Is negative 3 greater than or equal to 0? No. If x is 8, we have 8 squared minus 8 times 8 plus 4. So 64 minus 64 is 0. We have 4. Is 4 greater than or equal to 0? Yes. So therefore, ang nakuha nating values ni y ay negative 8, then 4 minus 2 square root of 3, union with, this is square bracket, sorry, 4 plus 2 square root of 3, then positive infinity. Ito ngayon yung ating magiging range. Our range will be the set of all y's such that y is an element of real numbers and y can be any element of this interval. Understood? Example number 4. Find the domain and range of the function f of x is equal to 1 all over x plus 3 minus 5. For the solution, watch this video. In this example, we find the domain and range of the function f of x is equal to 1 all over x plus 3 minus 5. So, what are we going to do here? Dapat isang fraction ito. It will be LCD is x plus 3. Understood na 1 yung denominator niya. X plus 3 divided by x plus 3 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Then minus 5 times x plus 3 divided by 1 is x plus 3 times 5 is negative 5 times x plus 3. Simplifying further, we get distributing negative 5 to all the terms inside the parentheses. We have negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15 all over x plus 3. Or we have f of x is equal to negative 5x minus 14 all over x plus 3. So how can we find the domain here? We consider this one, ibababa natin, and solve for the values of 3 that will make this one 0. Then equal to 0. X. So transposing positive it will give us negative 3. So therefore, our domain is the set of all x's such that x is an element of real numbers and x is not equal to negative 3. How about the range? Okay, so in finding the range, we solve for x in terms of y. So using this one, we solve for x in terms of y. So palitan natin ng y sa f of x. We have y is equal to negative 5x minus 14 all over x plus 3. Understood na may 1 yan, then cross multiply. We have xy plus 3y, so cross multiply, y times x is xy, y times 3 is 3y is equal to negative 5x minus 14 times 1 is still negative 5x minus 14. So lahat ng may x nasa left dapat, lahat ng may y, ay lahat ng mga walang x ay pupunta sa right. Okay, so it will be xy from negative 5x, it will be positive 5x, and then transposing 3y going to the right, we have negative 3y, and then we bring down negative 14. So factoring this out, we have x, and then y plus 5 is equal to, we just copy negative 3y minus 14, divide both sides by y plus 5 over y plus 5. So we have x is equal to negative 3y minus 14 all over y plus 5. So we consider this one. So this will be y plus 5 is not equal to 0, or y is not equal to negative 5. So therefore, our range here is the set of all y's such that y is an element of real numbers and y should not be equal to negative 5. Understood? For the fifth example, find the domain and range of the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 4 all over x plus 1. For the solution, watch this video. Okay, so in this example, we find the domain and range of the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 4 all over x plus 1. Okay, so how do we find the domain here? Before identifying, we try to figure out if may pwede tayong i-cancel out dito. So we have, at first glance, we can immediately identify, we can immediately say that the numerator is factorable. Okay, so yung factors niya ay x plus 1 and x minus 4 all over x plus 1. So we can simplify this, we can cancel this out as, and we will have a simplified function of f of x is equal to x minus 4. But even if simplified na siya, we will still consider this one. It will still be undefined. The function x minus 4 will still be undefined at x, which is equivalent to negative 1. So ang domain pa rin natin, kahit na simplified na siya, ay set of all x's such that x is an element of real numbers, comma, x is not equal to negative 1. Okay? So, for us to find the range, mahanap natin yung range ng ating function if we try to substitute negative 1 here, and then yung magiging value ng y natin after substituting, yun yung i-disregard natin. Okay? So, how are we going to do that? If x is equal to negative 1, then we have f of negative 1 is equal to negative 1 minus 4, or this is negative 5. Since hindi allowed yung value na ito, syempre if we try to substitute this kay function, imposible din or hindi din magiging allowed yung negative 5. Okay, so meaning our range will be the set of all x's such that, I mean this should be y, sorry, such that y is an element of real numbers, comma, y should not be equal to negative 5. Understood? So our domain is set of all x's such that x is an element of real numbers and x should not be equal to negative 1, and our range is set of all y's such that y is an element of real numbers and y is not equal to negative 5. Understood? For the activity, do activity 6 on page 23. Submission of all outputs will be on Friday.